want every side to come together to attempt to take down the 100 side.
Man, they gotta
We want
understand,
all the
right?
smoke.
We go off the content.
Three, two, one. Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we keep it real. No capping. I'm your host, bringing you nothing but straight fire and authenticity. Today, we're diving into 12 rooms that I got to promote. The 100 ENT showroom, hosted by Big Wack100. The Beehive room. Love and R&B room, hosted by the queen of the 100 side, R&B. No room for the weak. No mercy room. Spin the block room. 100 ENT Jailbreak Squad room. 100 ENT South room. Petty Betty and Toxic Tanya room. Dangerous Minds room, hosted by Beast. Good Burger.
And say we want to come so date. Please, what date is good for us to come? We want to come and ask R&B hands in marriage. At this point, you don't even have a say because he's dealing. Him and his family, he's dealing with your family. The reason why being that is, sort of if you start acting up and stuff, he's gonna have to see that your brother, your uncle, and they're gonna have to handle that in a different way that you wouldn't even want it to go that way. So it's more of respect and we're giving you our sister, we're giving you our daughter. They're handing you over to him. Nothing must happen to you because he will be held accountable and responsible for that. So and so if they call your people and they set up it, then your people will say, okay, well, look, this is when we can, this is when we can. So they set up the date. Then Wack and his family is not only coming empty-handed. It depends on what tribe you are, Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa. You come with, I think, 12 goats and like maybe 2 bags of yam, 200 2 bags of yams. Is a whole lot of things that they bring in. So they're gonna bring a whole thing that will fit that everybody in your family will have to take home from. So you know how much it's gonna be. It's gonna be a lot. And sometimes, like if you look at like Davido and Chioma, it's like millions of naira, which is like maybe a couple $100,000. So now they bring these things, and when they bring these things, your family can still say no, they don't want you to marry them or also not. But in most cases, the family allow that to go. They'll bring these things, so it's called introduction, meaning you are introducing your future husband to your family, and you are pleading family to accept this man because this is who you want to spend the rest of your life with. So after Wack and his family come to your family house and they said after that event go that day, then your family will then call you and sit you down and say, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because I ain't no coming back from it. So you said this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do, what's or not. Then they'll now write dowry. So they will then tell Wack family, get back to them and say, look, we talked to our daughter, so we're gonna give you out to them. But this is what we take in this family. This is the dowry. It could be, a couple thousands of dollars, millions in nairas. Wack and his family had to come up with the money. So they'll come up with cash and some other provisions with it. Then they'll do traditional marriage. The traditional marriage entails, if you're Muslim, if you're Voodoo, which is Orisha and stuff like that, those people are going to be there. See, marriage in Africa is very, very deep. It's very, very spiritual. That's why you see a lot of people, they can't get out of it. There's some people that you get married to, if you cheat, you will die. You have to die. That's why you see a lot of men, they don't care because they know if the woman go cheat, she's going to die or she's going to run the street. So it's very, very deep R&B.
So this is why we asked the question, right? Because you can see the title of the room, or make reference to the title of the room. So what we found out based on some research that we've done since we've been in this room, that the tradition of getting on one knee comes from medieval times, which is a Roman tradition. So they're asking the question, okay, well, if you're African American, okay, what tradition did, like, what is the
Come
real
with it.
tradition of
Nigeria.
marriage? But it seems like every region has their own tradition. According to you, is there ever a point in time where the man gets on one knee?
No, but you see, one name even better. In where I'm from in Africa, a lot of Nigerians African, they will tell you, you have to portrait. You don't get on one knee. You would like, like when somebody prostrates, like
Lay
you
out
like,
flat. So the word
yeah, lay
prostrate
out
means to
flat,
lay
like
out
begging, like
flat.
you'll be begging, like the whole family. You beg her, beg the whole family, please, I beg you in the name of God, let me. Not one knee, nobody's gonna take that shit from you. One knee is nothing. Like one is like a little baby shit that they do in the Western world.
You hear
Nobody's
this,
taking one.
Drewby? So you hear this. He's saying that. See, Drewby was saying that if I'm supposed to be the leader, I ain't getting on one knee for no woman because I'm supposed to be the leader. That means I'm submitting to the woman. So I wish I would get on one knee,
It's
and it came
because,
from the Romans.
but look, that's why marriage is not for everybody. My brother, respect to him if he felt that way, but you have to understand that maybe that culture. In our culture, do you know you don't even ask? You see, getting is by asking. In my culture, you have to beg. There's different. You see, when you ask for something, it's not really, 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 really respectful, to be honest with you. But when you begged for something, you will really respect what you're begging for. When you're asking for
Right.
stuff and they give it to you, you probably wouldn't know the value of what they've been giving to you. See, let's say I ask you, please, R&B, can you please give me $10, right? Now you probably like, well, I'll just give all of $5. But if I say, R&B, please, I'm begging you, look at me on the floor, begging you, I have to save my cousin's life. I please give me $20. Because you see how desperate I'm begging you. Even
Right.
if you don't
Right.
have it, you will call Wack and say, Wack, I need to give all of this because this is what's going on. So it's two different
That's a
things. You
that's
get what
a
I'm saying?
fact.
So in Africa, you have to beg. Bro, do you know what they're gonna do? You can't even come and ask. You can't. You have to beg. You have to beg.
Right.
Not only the wife, you have to beg the wife, father, the whole family. Like you will be on the floor for like 5 minutes on the floor. Not 1 minute, not 10 seconds. You will be on the go. You look, watch it on YouTube. You will be
Right.
on the
Nah,
floor. You
I
and
ain't
your
listen.
friends. Not only you, not only Wack. Wack is not the only one going to be begging. Him and all his friends that came with him. It's going to be like 10, 20 on the floor begging.
That's a fact. Hey, listen, I'm not contesting that. I don't believe that that's not what happens where you come from. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I was born over there, I'd probably be on the same type of time. The thing is, I wasn't. So I ain't. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And I don't, in accordance to what I believe, I mean, it don't kind of line up with me
But can
getting
you
on
tell us
one
what
knee.
you believe, Drewby?
I walk with the creator, the Bible.
Well, the Bible
That's my
wasn't any
foundation.
different because if you go look at the Bible, a lot of those marriages were the same thing. They had to give something. They
Right.
had to
No, I
give
ain't
goat,
yeah.
money, something. They had
Yeah,
to
I ain't
give
tripping
something in
about
order to
that.
get it.
Yeah, I ain't tripping about that. I'm talking about the one knee part. I ain't tripping about, giving something. I think the symbolism in regards to what it actually is, as opposed, regardless of what we want to believe, the symbolism in regards to what it actually is the problem. That's why I wouldn't be able to do it. Not that I don't have respect, for the woman that I involve myself with. Expect the woman that I do involve myself with to understand that, like, because that shows that you got respect for what I believe, and you ain't tripping, you know what I mean? Now, if it's a problem, it's all good, you know what I mean? You just got to find somebody that's on that type of time.
But brother, if you love
That's
somebody, why wouldn't you like be on the floor begging to have them to be part of your life for the rest of your life?
because that ain't what the creator tell me to do, so it ain't
What
gonna
the
happen.
Bible? What did the Bible says? He who find a wife find a good thing. So where did the
Yeah.
Bible tell you not to or show love and show that you want somebody to
It don't
be
tell
a
you
part of your
that, but
life.
when you bow down, it don't tell you not to do that. You supposed to, but when you do certain things, it suggests certain things, regardless of what you want to make it seem or wanted to believe, or that's what you call a show of this. In accordance to the creator, that ain't what you're doing in that spot. So you're not supposed to do it. And that's okay. You can do other things, right?
It
Yeah,
didn't say you can't bow down.
but
It
it
didn't
didn't
say you
say you
can't
can't
go.
prostrate. But do you know culture? Most of the culture, right, especially African culture, are from olden days. And in olden days, right, when you would go to the bride's place, you were giving those gifts as a gesture of asking for them to give, because they're giving you a whole human being. They're handling over a whole human being to you for you to be the leader. This lady is gonna make sure she followed all your instructions. There's nothing you tell her to do that she would not do, because they've given her to you. Like sometimes some people want to be fun. They say they sold them. No, it's not selling them. They're giving you this woman. Whatever decision you make, that's the final. You get what I'm saying? Even if she call her father go say no. Whatever your husband said, that's what it is. So why
Right.
can't you show that you want this person and you be like, you get what I'm saying? Like, is it? I think it's an ego thing for some culture, and respectfully, I don't mean to to insult anybody or direct anybody. I just feel like a whole lot of African American men feel like, because I think they lack, they can't, they have pride that is unnecessary. They felt like if they get on knees or prostrate to ask for the hands of their partner, and they feel like that make them belittle or that
Right.
make them less of a man. But
Right.
in reality, when women see you do this kind of thing, they will give you their life, because they see like, oh, this is like, it's something different. I think a lot of African American men will say they won't do something because they want to look cool in front of their friend or their homeboy. Why? Meanwhile, their homeboy is even doing worse in private for their woman.
Right. I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say this. You might be right, but you gotta understand something. When you come from different worlds, you can't apply that judgment to people. You know what I'm saying? You can only speak from the perspective in regards to what you come from. Them the roots in regards to what you come from. So in turn, you got a different type of upbringing, a different type of understanding in regards to life that shaped your reality. So when you come into a different world, they got their own different perspectives, different understandings, certain things you will say unheard of. So it be like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't it you might I don't know, it's hard to
I think because, and the reason why I pulled him into the room, because where we were going with it, I know a lot of people were saying, well, we're not Roman, so we're going to exit out because it didn't come from our tradition. It came from, what did the Africans do? So that's why I brought him in the room, because the argument was made, okay, where it came from Roman tradition, and that's not our background. What are our roots?
right,
So a lot of
right,
people say that their roots are African. So if you say, if we're trying to trace back respectfully where the tradition came from, it's not to say, oh, every African American man is to do it like this, or American man, or a lot of you guys trace your heritage back to Africa. So my reason for bringing him here is not to convince you that you need to do it this way, but if we're talking about tradition logically, not emotional shit, we're talking about the tradition and where things came from and where it stemmed from and our backgrounds. If you identify with the African heritage, this would be the correct way, or this would be where it originated from, if that makes sense.
I
That was
got
the
that.
only
I
purpose.
got that because I'm the one that said Africa. But now that I hear it though, I mean, I can still see the differences. I kind of see what Drew be saying too, because our world is totally different than their world in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Even all the way down to the ideology of objectifying a woman. We don't do that in America. You know what I'm saying? So like as far as like the possession of giving her away, and her family's the ones that's giving her away, and she don't have a choice. It's her, it like that. We don't objectify women down here. So it's more of a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you propose to the woman down here. We don't necessarily propose to the family. So I think that's what the difference is with that shit too. Cause I could see that, but I feel like the work is done before you saying like you're proposing my work. I'm already, like by the time I'm proposing, we are locked in already. It shouldn't even be a question if we got them. So like that's why coach they're asking and begging before I've already done the work to basically be entitled to that.
Absolutely. And then it's
And
crazy.
Abby, there's something I want to really add, and maybe when people hear this, you guys, some more people that's dating, and you can really know the importance of these things, right? You know when the bride family, when the wife's family is about to get married, when they're handing the woman over to the man, you know, like 90% of those men, the father and the mother, do you know they cry like weep? You know why they crying? A lot of people say it's cries of joy, but at the same time, when they're giving their daughter away, it's like they're signing her life away because it's very true and it's biblical. Say, who find a wife find a good thing. If the husband said, stay there, if I call and say, come here, she has to stay. Even her father will say, moving forward, after they gave her away, even if she wants to go back to that house and visit the family, our father and our mother will ask her, is your husband said that's okay for you to come back and visit us? This thing is deep. You see, a lot of people married just for the concept of marriage, but they don't understand what actually the deep down what marriage is. It's deeper than just go downtown, marry, throw money on the floor and do all that stuff. Like it's actually a celebration of life. It's like that's why you see when the family, they do it family to family, because if they give their daughter away and every time they see you beating her ass, she's getting black eyes, the brother is coming to beat your ass. It's not, no, this is not no 911, none of that shit. Like they coming to the house to come check you, they're going to beat your ass. This is not, oh, I marry your daughter, why you doing all this? No, 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 no. It's not, it don't go like that over there. You get on, some family will tell you, no matter what our daughter do to you, you can do whatever you want to marry 3, 4, 5 wives. That's your problem. That's her problem. She chose you. But the moment you put your hands on our daughter, you're going to die. There's no negotiation. You die. So if she did something crazy, was not just come to the house. Come to our house. Let us deal with our daughter. That's why you see African kid. They don't care how old they become. Their parents still discipline them. You like you're 50, you're 60. In as much as your mom is alive, your father is alive, they still discipline you. You get what I'm saying? So it's different. A good side for the women, but a lot of bad side. You see here in America, you talk to a lady, she said, well, I'm about to go stay with my friend. No, 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 you're not going, no, it's not happening. That's why you have to beg to marry us. Because when you beg to marry her, you understand the importance of what they're giving. They're giving you a diamond, man. They're giving you a jewel that cannot be replaced. They're signing their right as a parent away to you. A nigga they don't even know. She know you, they don't know you. They can't even judge your character. She can't do it. She the only one that can do that. So that's why marriage is not, see, marriage, I just pray a lot of people that want to get married understand it's not just, the ring is nothing. They don't care. Look, they don't care about the ring. Literally, you come out and get a ring. It's irrelevant. But the work
But
inside marriage is what
but
really
Ola,
matters.
let me ask you this: how do they understand that without going through what you went through?
How did they understand what?
How are they supposed to understand the value of marriage, like you saying, and that is deeper,
Be-
than how they play with it? You see what I'm
good
saying?
because
Without going,
you know why?
go ahead.
Because majority of people in Africa are married. My dad and my mom was married for over 50 years. Do you know how very serious and spiritual marriage is? I will use my life as an example. I remember my father died 4 years ago. 2 years after my mother died, because we all know my mother gonna die, because they together so long. When my mother came to America to visit, when I bring her my dad, my mom, I bring my mom for 5 months. My father keep calling me, cursing me the wife back, that his wife cannot be more than 5 months in America or he's gonna cost me. So I have to send my mom's back. So when my father came, my mom's doing the same thing. She fell sick. Think about it. She fell sick because these are the two people, they only know each other. When my father died, my mom could not even think of marrying or dating nobody. She died right 2 years after. She started developing sickness and she died right there. It's too deep. Like, like genuine love is not what you play with. Like, you feel uncomfortable when you were not with your wife for like 2-4 months. And my mom came to help me. In Africa, let's say you married and your wife give birth to a baby, it is the responsibility of your wife's mother to come to the house and help your wife to take care of the baby, wash the baby. She will teach your wife, because that's her first child, right? She will teach your wife how to take a shower for the baby, how to feed the baby. So basically, the wife's mom will be the nanny for like 6-8 months. If it's in Nigeria, if they love their in-law, she probably would be there for a year, just making sure the baby is fine. So you and your wife can still be in your room. The baby will be staying in the room of the grandma, because she's the sole responsibility that she'll take care of, change the diaper, do all those things. So marriage is not just, is like there's a whole lot of, it's like that's why you see in
Like
Africa,
it's
they say
sacred.
they say it take a village to raise kids. But if anybody in Africa gonna give you their daughter, I swear to God that I'm serving, you're gonna have to beg for that daughter. And when you beg for that daughter, the parent basically sign their marriage, like their rights over to you.
So it sounds like the Romans got off easy.
You see, I'm still on the. I listen.
I
I'm
don't know, 'cause
definitely.
they be having like 6 wives over there, bro. I don't think they begging every family for the
Okay,
wife,
stay there.
dog.
Let's
I'm not
clarify
gonna hold
that.
you. I feel a little devalued right now, going the
Hold on. Let me
Roman
let me
way.
Oh
let's
no,
let's
Ola, 'cause I
no, no,
believe
no. We're
you
gonna clear
to
that.
a
Hold on.
degree, bro.
I
But
know what
we
you're
can get
saying.
another Nigerian in here. Not every Nigerian operates like that, bro.
No, but I'm gonna tell you, see, because y'all always say these things about African marrying a lot of. Let's be realistic. Let's be biblical a little bit. There's nowhere in the Bible said that you can't be wife. If you have, the Bible said and the Quran said, if you have money to take care of those people, you can marry 50 wives. But the problem with a lot of men nowadays, you can't even
What
take care of
Bible verse that
yourself. You want to
is?
marry 4 or 5 wives. You can't even take care of yourself. Not to talk about 1 or 2 wives. A lot of you are even sexually, you can't even last more than 2 rounds, but you want to be 3 or 4 women.
Hello?
How? Make it so you're so quick. No, I'm just being real.
But
Y'all,
bro, and
like,
the
this is
cost of
wrong.
living in Nigeria allows y'all to do that. That's why I'm
That's
saying
cap.
That
y'all
is
That's
have
cap.
cap.
six.
That's
Hold
cap.
Y'all
on.
have six.
Hold on.
Y'all have 6. The cost of living in Nigeria not cheaper than America.
Baby, let me
Hold on.
tell
Hold
you,
on.
you gotta pay
Let's
your rent all the way up for a year.
a
So
year. So
But is the cost of living cheaper
no,
than America?
let me break it down to you, right? You see, you will say that because you are in America.
It's a
You
simple
looking at
yes
it.
or no,
Oh, no, because it doesn't work like that, brother.
bro.
You talking
That
about
is
American.
cap. That's full cap.
Okay, I'm trying to break it down to you, brother, and you can rebuttal. You talking about America. You want to take American currency and go spend in dollars. You want to take dollars and compare to naira. Of course, dollar is more valuable than naira. But when you go to Nigeria and you take $100, you can use it as you are in America. The same way in vice versa. If you go want to rent, in Africa they don't do no fucking car note. They don't do. You want to do mortgage? They don't do none of that stuff. You buy your iPhone, you pay cash out. Go
that's a
look it up.
fact.
Look, ask your people. You know how much is iPhone 17, whatever it is now? It's maybe 1,600. You going into the store and paying cash. You want to buy a house? If it's $300,000, $400,000, you paying cash.
There's no
You want to buy a
financing.
land? There's no finance. There's no none of that. How many of you niggas in here can
Property
really succeed in
taxes.
Nigeria?
You don't
Keep it a
have
buck.
property taxes.
That,
You don't have. It's a
they
lot
don't
of
have
pros
can't.
and
property
cons.
taxes or anything, but the
Private.
difference is the okay. So it still equals out. To be honest with you, if you go down there right now and they tell you got to pay your rent up for the whole year, like you're not gonna be able to afford to do that. You're just not, especially with their dime. Now, if we went out there, you know what I'm saying, and you are all you in a place where you're just balling or whatever, you could do that. But if we were under the same pressure that they are in Africa, we would half of us would majority of us would be poor in the village. We would be village people.
I don't know about that. That's not true at all. A lot of people divest back to Africa. You see these people taking and go out to Africa and live a decent life that you cannot live in America for the same rate of money.
You are
It's
right.
just not true.
I will tell you
It
why.
just is what it is. And what you know, but what you made was not even a good argument. You just said that the rate of currency out there is every that applies to every country. What you said, the rate of currency is definitely going to apply to every country. You could say that about Honduras. You could say that about Haiti. When you get out there, the money's different. That's a fact. That's the whole point of what we're saying. It's like you got to look at it. Just Google cost of living in America versus cost of living in Nigeria, and you just argue
Yeah.
with the facts.
No, DJ, what you're saying is misleading. I will tell you why it's misleading, brother. You looking at it because you are in America and you live in America. Of course, look, if you go online right now, you look up how much is an Airbnb in December. 2-bedroom Airbnb, 300 is going to be maybe 300,000 naira or upward. If you want to stay on the island, right? 300,000 upward. How much is 400,000, 450, whatever? That's like $300 a night in American currency, a night. So if you go to Africa for 2 weeks for dirty December, 300 times 2 weeks times 14. Calculate how much is that. But think about it. If you look at $300 to you, you'll be like, $300 a night in this 5-star? That's ain't shit.
Nah,
Well,
hold on. I'm looking at it like this, brother. If you go buy that house for $300,000, that house you guys are talking about, or that land, because you can actually buy the land and
Yes.
build that house up on that land,
Yes.
you're done.
Yes,
Out
you're
here,
done.
hold on. So if your family had done that already, you can just stay around there and just be done. But listen, out here, you still pay property taxes forever on that land. You never get to do that. That's just one simple factor that makes us more expensive than there. It's off the rip. Just one simple factor, bro. You can't compare cost of living in our country versus Nigeria. It's just not comparable, bro. I do get what you're saying on scale as far as wages. That's why you have analytics. That's why they do those things. They do it on scale. On scale, we are 269% more expensive to live in America on average than out there, bro. That's just what it is. The cost. Everybody talks about it. It's way easier. You know, the lifestyle. We can. I've heard you come in here and talk about it.
Yeah, but DJ, let me ask you a question, brother. Think about it. What you said. Let's act what you said now, right? How if you say, let's say a house. If you look online and look how much is a house in Banana Island, you probably like maybe say $500,000, maybe $1 million. But all these things is cash. But let's do Victoria Island. Because that's too expensive. Let's do mainland. You want to buy a house right now in Ikeja, right? You still have like $300,000 cash. $400,000 cash. This is not no mortgage. Like, think about it. How many people in America, as we speak, can take $300,000, $400,000 cash and buy a house in Nigeria? Okay, I see what you say. You don't pay property tax, you don't pay all those things.
Yeah,
it's cool. But how many?
Think. Y'all been out there for thousands of years. If your grandma owned that, then you don't ever have to pay anything. It just transfers right over to you.
No, it don't work like that.
Listen,
DJ,
hold
don't work like that.
Hold on. We can break down how it works because I got ChatGPT right here too. So I'm gonna fact check everything you say. But listen. When you get that property passed down from your dad to you, right? You might have to pay something immediately right there, but you don't have to pay something residual every single year called taxes. Let me tell you how America works. Your parents could have got that house for $30,000, but now it's worth $1 million. So you have to pay 5% or whatever the property tax rate is in your area of that $1 million every single year. Even if it's given to you, y'all don't have those same type of things going on.
So what is that, a problem?
That's plus that makes the cost of living way cheaper out there.
But DJ, I will tell you why that's not true. I'll give you another example. Ask any Nigerians. You know, let's say, well, my father and my mom's houses, two of them, I bought it for them. It's my house. But because I bought it for them, I handed it over to them. When both of them passed away, do you know that house belongs to the family? I can't even say that's my house. You know that, right? Because my dad's brother, that means that belongs to his house. My dad's sister, that belongs to his house. even though it's the house that I bought with my money, with the paperwork to give to my parents because they brought me to this world. Do you know that that's how it works in Africa? Do you know that how it works in Africa is when the house only belongs to the male in the house, the female has no say. They tell them, go take your ass to your husband's house. Once you married, you belong to the husband, so you don't have a say in this house.
Ola, you
My
saying that
sisters,
there's no will, there's no such thing as a will in Nigeria? Because I'm
stay
looking
there.
at.
There is will. That's why
So then your parents respectfully to them just didn't have their will in order.
my parents don't know. So my
So if
parents
they
are old
wanted,
school. They
because
don't
if they
have a
wanted,
will.
because
They
if
don't
they
have a
wanted
will.
it to go, if they wanted it to go to Ola, they could have put that in writing, just like in America, or it's gonna go to next to kin. You might have been a dual citizen. I don't know how they next to kin system works. And maybe it does go to brother out there, but that's how it works everywhere.
No, okay,
There's
so
no
here's the deal,
different.
right? No. Let me tell you how it works, right? In Africa, I'm talking about Nigeria specifically. In my culture, if you bought your mother a house, DJ, today, and your mother grew old and she passed on, because you bought your mother the house doesn't mean that house belongs to you. That house don't belong to you no more, because the whole village, the whole family knows you bought that house to your mom. That's the family house. The only people who don't have no say in the houses are the women, your sister's husband. Whatever their husband get, that's their property, not from this side. Now, check this out, DJ. So now, let's say you want to rent the house out. You want to rent it out. The house that you bought, you have to go take permission from the elders in the family. Maybe your father's brother, maybe your father's uncle, the family, the Ajayi family. Say, sir, ma, we want to rent this property out. They will then tell you, okay, you have to get their blessing. Even if your father, your mother will the house for you, even if they will the house for you, you still have to take permission. You have to take blessing from the elders in the family. If not, with your life,
So
spiritually they
women
will
ain't
take
got
your
no.
life.
So women
Spiritually,
ain't got no rights.
but legally, you have the house though, right?
Yeah, legally, but legally,
Okay, so that's
yes.
all I wanted to talk about. That's it. Now, if you
But
start talking about spiritually and shit like that, then we going into a whole nother realm of talking, and I can't even speak on that because you from there. Obviously, you got that. I'm just talking about legally. Your parents could leave you the house, and legally, if you were there and you were the one that inherited the house, and your people spiritually agreed and everything, you wouldn't have to pay nothing else.
you're right.
And I'm sure and y'all have been there for hundreds of years, accumulating property for hundreds of years. So that makes the lifestyle right off the rip easier, bro. Now, yes, if you just starting from the bottom zero to the top, maybe it's easier in America. That's why people run here. That's true. Zero
Yeah,
to the top, I can go with that. But if you got, but looking at how, bro, come on, man. On average, it's not even
but
comparable.
DJ, do you know in Africa, right? No man, people laugh at them, go back to their parent house. It's a shame. If you leave your parent house, you bought them the house. Do you know the house that I bought for my parent? So one is in the village, one is in the city. If I go there, I only stay there for the weekend. I can't go back to Nigeria and leave my house, my own house in Omole, and go stay with my parent house. No, because your friends will mock you. People in the city will laugh at you like, hey, what is he doing in his parent house? It's like an abomination.
Yeah, love. This shit finna go crazy. This shit finna go crazy, boy.
yo,
Hey,
yo,
Wack, when you say,
yo,
hey,
did he
Wack,
slap